They say the lake has always been here, older than the town, older than anyone remembers, but I know that's a lie because when the lake took my brother, something changed and now it's calling me too. I was 12 when Ethan disappeared. We'd grown up near Hollow Pines Lake, a place the old folks whispered about, but no one dared drain or investigate. It was just there, a dark, still patch of water surrounded by dead trees and old stories. Ethan was 17. Brave, stupid, maybe. He loved to sneak out at night, daring the shadows to come get him. That night he dared too hard. It was just past midnight when I heard the screen door creak open. I peeked through my window and saw him walking towards the lake, flashlight bobbing in the dark. I wanted to call out, but I didn't because Ethan always made fun of me for being scared, so I stayed silent, and that silence is something I'll never forgive myself for. They found his shoes by the shore the next morning. No footprints leading back, no sign of struggle, just gone. The town held a search, boats combed the water, divers went down, but Hollow Pines Lake is deep, too deep, some say. They found nothing, not even the flashlight, and that should have been the end, but then the dream started. At first, they were just flashes, water, dark shapes, moving below, a voice, distant and muffled, calling my name. Then one night I saw him, Ethan, standing at the foot of my bed, wet, his skin pale, his eyes dark and empty. He said, "The lake isn't done. You are next." I woke up screaming. My parents told me it was grief, trauma, but I knew Ethan was still out there, somewhere beneath that black water. Years passed, the town moved on. They built cabins near the lake, held fishing tournaments, but no one talked about the disappearances because Ethan wasn't the first and he wouldn't be the last. By the time I turned 20, I had convinced myself it was over. I left for college, tried to build a normal life, but the lake, it never let go. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw it, still dark, hungry, and Ethan, always Ethan, standing at the shore, waiting. Then came the letter. No return address, just a single sentence, scrawled in shaky handwriting. "Come home. The debt isn't paid." My hands trembled as I read it because deep down I knew what it meant. The lake wasn't done. So I went back to Hollow Pines, back to the house where every creek and shadow felt like a ghost. Mom and Dad were gone now, moved away after Ethan vanished. The house was empty except for the memories. I didn't sleep that night, just sat by the window, staring at the lake, watching, waiting. At 3:13 a.m. I saw it, a shape rising from the water. Tall, thin, too tall to be human. It stood there for a moment, then sank back beneath the surface. And then the phone rang. I hadn't even realized. The old landline still worked. I picked it up, heart pounding. "Why didn't you come sooner?" The voice was wet, gurgling. It sounded like Ethan. but not "it's hungry and you owe it." The line went dead. I dropped the phone and ran outside, barefoot, into the night. The lake shimmered under the moonlight, calm as ever, but I could feel it. A pull, like invisible hands wrapping around my chest, dragging me closer. I stopped at the shore where Ethan's shoes had been found all those years ago. The water lapped at my feet, icy and unnatural, and then I heard it, his voice. "Come in, little brother. It's your turn." I wanted to run. Every instinct screamed at me to turn back, but I couldn't move. The lake had me, just like it had Ethan, just like it had the others before him. I don't remember stepping into the water, but suddenly I was waist deep, then chest deep, then under. The world went black, cold, heavy, endless, and in that darkness, I saw them, dozens of faces. Men, women, children, all floating, staring with hollow eyes. At the center was Ethan. His skin cracked, his mouth twisted into something between a grin and a scream. "You were worth the price," he whispered. "But now you have to pay." I felt hands clawing at me, pulling me deeper. Water filled my lungs, but I didn't drown. I just sank down and down until the light disappeared. And then I woke up on the shore, gasping, coughing up lake water. The sun was rising. The lake was calm again. But something was different. I wasn't alone. Next to me in the sand were footprints leading away from the water. But they weren't mine. They were too big, too wide, and they led right up to my front door. Every night I hear the lake calling. I see Ethan standing at the shore, smiling, and I know it's not over.